Hi, my name is Isaac Samuelson, and I'm recording this interview for Professor Petrucci's Leadership and Organizational Management class. Question 1. Tell me about yourself. Well, I'm currently in my final semester at Temple University. I'm a senior right now, and I'll be graduating in December with a bachelor's in administration. Before Temple, was at a community college in Harrisburg where I achieved an associate's degree. I mentioned the community college for two reasons. The first being I'm proud of my accomplishment there. The second being, going to a community college before Temple was a very intentional choice in that I realized it would be financially wise for me to go to community college before Temple. And I believe that reveals an important trait that I believe I have, which is being financially wise. And throughout my college career, my college education, I've been working part-time to help put myself through college. I believe this is important. I believe that putting myself through college is something that I really wanted to try to do. I didn't want to rely on the handouts of others, but I wanted to set an example for those around me and really try to pave the way myself. I take great pride that I've been able to do this successfully to this point. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I'm the oldest in a family of 5 children. I believe this is not necessarily a business-related aspect, but I wanted to bring it up anyway because it's really affected the way that I operate in business and in work settings. For example, the same way you try to set the example for your siblings, I've tried to set the example for my peers and those under me. I believe that having certain standards and goals and living those out can really lead others to and motivate others to do the same thing. You could say that idealized influence. I really believe that living your life out to certain standards is going to have a direct influence on other people around you who will want to live the same way if they see you are succeeding. Also, I really enjoy staying up to date on the global business world. One of the ways I do this is through the Wall Street Journal. I love reading about how different cases and different events happening across the world can affect business here in America. For example, the journal's been conducting a series of articles on the Syrian conflict, and it's just so fascinating to me how Saudi Arabia and Iran could be at war in Syria, and if something happens to an oil rig in Saudi Arabia because Iran attacks it, it could drive up the price of oil and essentially drive up the price of gasoline across the world, which would affect not just Syria or not just Saudi Arabia, but would affect business in America as well. It's fascinating to me the way that the world is connected so closely now. Question 2. Tell me about a significant accomplishment in your life. Well, last summer I completed Officer Candidate School, which is a program by the Marines set in Quantico, Virginia. This is a program that I started in 2010 and just completed this last summer. The Marines and Officer Candidate School test individuals educationally, they test individuals physically, and they test you on your leadership capabilities. It's a rigorous testing, and it's weeks of training with other individuals going through the same test. And throughout the course, you're graded by your leaders and graded by your peers on how you're performing as a leader. You test you on your reaction skills, and they test you on your ethics. And it's just I learned so much about myself and about being a leader while at this training institute. And it was hard. I really struggled at times, and I made mistakes, but I learned from them. And most importantly, I learned that you need to set the example and lead by example. And by doing this, you'll show others how they should be following. I believe that you can't be a good leader unless you know yourself and know how you need to improve. Question 3. Tell me about something you learned in class. Well, two things that really stuck out to me in class are communication and culture. Communication, well, I knew that there was different ways to speak to different people, but I never realized it was such a science. I never realized that there were so specific ways to talk to different types of individuals. And also, I had learned a lot about nonverbal communication as well. I'm learning how you can communicate with others just through, just through your body language. It's been fascinating to see how communication can be such a great influence on other people. And I believe that communication really ties into culture as well, and that by communicating correctly from the top, you can directly influence people at the bottom. It's been also really inspiring and motivational to see how one person can communicate properly with others below them, or even above them, or their peers, and have a direct influence on the culture around them. It's been inspiring to see how the culture can be changed by an individual, and how if people really try at the top to change people at the bottom, it can be done, and a whole business can be changed by one person essentially. So those are some of the things I've learned in class. That concludes this interview. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.